Hello everyone, welcome to New Timeline Divination. My name is Vivian Moon. I'm a psychic alchemist combining the forces of divination and activation to ignite the divine fire within. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how I first started channeling the Fey realms, and that's otherwise known as inner earth beings, and their light language. So, it begins with a Kundalini awakening. If you don't know what that is, I do have a video about that, which I will link in the description of the video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to do that. So, Kundalini awakening is basically a form of spiritual awakening, which is like very energetic. It's on a level where you're getting cleared out essentially, and you have these energetic blocks and they become cleared through this psychic awakening. And I had a third eye opening as well. And when this happened, I began to be able to see all different types of etheric beings, and I did not know what they were. So that experience was really like, oh my god, what is this? And after a while, obviously you get that information, but at first I didn't really know what to do with it. And I had no idea about light language at this point or anything like that. And I was still seeing many of the beings that we consider to be mythical as mythical, right? I didn't know what was real and what was not real. And my whole definition of reality has very much expanded since then. It's been, since 2016. So yeah, I went through a dark night of the soul experience and was taken on a wild ride. And so there were different aspects to this experience. And when I first started channeling the Fae, it was during a time when my mother and I were traveling together. She's also Kundalini awakened psychic and awakened around the same time that I did, a little before me actually. So we were having this experience together. And we still are, because I live with her currently. But what happened when I was on the road with her was a Fae being came to me for the first time and told me she was a fairy. Her name's Makmir. She doesn't look like a typical fairy, though. So a lot of these Fae beings, they're not like small with wings like you would normally think. They're all different shapes and sizes. But really, the main thing about them is that they're etheric and they're connected to Earth. So, yeah, she opened up my chakras from the back, and I trusted her, which was, different, I guess. I didn't always trust the etheric beings that I could see, but I felt that she was the essence of love. So I opened up to her, and she showed me that there was something called the realm of beauty within my heart. This is something that's a reoccurring message from the Fae realms, is they want us to see the beauty that's literally inside of us, and they want us to manifest from this place. So this was like a healing for me. Right? It wasn't as intense as the healings that came later, but I always got this sense that they were, somewhere near without really cognitively knowing this. It was more just that I followed my instinctual nature, and I began to learn all along the spiritual path that many of the symbols that I was seeing and many of the things that I was connected to were also connected to the Fae realms, such as gemstones. And that is why I am always collecting gemstones, is because it's the etheric earth energy. So fast forward, right, to when I'm living in California by myself in a hostel. Well, not really by myself, but I had the ascension flu. So basically the ascension flu is when you get flu-like symptoms, but it's accompanied with this big energetic surge. As a psychic, you can feel it. At the time, I was calling myself an empath because I was constantly absorbing other people's energy, and it was bogging me down. I was very emotional all the time. I still get pretty emotional at times, but way back then it was much, much more intense for me and harder to manage, because I was always having to purge. Because I had these etheric wounds that needed healing, and so I would absorb, purge. And this was a part of my path. So when I had the ascension flu, I was like crying all day long. And the Fae came in to assist me. They were removing specific attachments from my auric field, which what they were referring to as bad roots. And they were saying like bad root, like they kind of have a childlike presence, but they are infinite etheric beings. They just have this childlike kind of energy, and they're very excitable and happy most of the time. But this time, they were very serious about taking these bad roots, but they wouldn't do it without my permission. So I gave them permission, and they started taking these things away from me. And of course, afterwards, I felt much better. So I learned about their healing abilities. And what was really cool was, these meditations that I was doing also were in alignment. I started doing Steve Nobel meditations. I'll send you a couple down in the description. But I was using them, and he would connect the angelics and the fae in one meditation. So that was very much in alignment with me and my soul. And so because I was working with my two favorite, I don't want to use the word favorite, but they're always there for me, the angels and the fae together, above and below, divine masculine, divine feminine, meeting as one in my heart space. And this is something that these meditations taught me how to do. So yeah, those will be in the description. So doing the meditations would shift my life significantly. Every time I would do one, it would be like shift, 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 because I was shifting my energy field on a deep level. So learning how to do this is essential for manifestation. And that is why I, commune with deity. Basically, what is known as deity is like all of these different amazing spirits. And there's so many different pantheons, but obviously the ones that are connected to the earth, I would consider to be a part of the Fae realms. So after all these shifts, I end up back at home, which is what I really needed to, get the ball rolling with everything that I was passionate about in my life, and, help my family out as well. We have this like symbiotic thing going on right now. So all the energetic shifts that happened really did help my life. And it's also that I am connected to specific missions where I go. So on this mission, right, I learned how to connect with the forest on a deeper level. And my mom, obviously, had already been doing this. So it was spring equinox of this year that we went to our portal tree. This tree had this amazing ability to connect us to the entire forest, as psychics were able to feel and experience this, and we would often have joint experiences where we would both have the same experience at the same time. This happened when we went there on that night, and I want to show you this wand that I brought with me. This was a wand that I made when we were in the desert. It's hemp wrapped around selenite and other gemstones for each chakra, and it's actually broken now. And I'll talk about the significance of the breaking of the wand as well. It's a very important breaking that happened. But yeah, this was the wand that I took with me that night. I just felt compelled to. And, we had planned to see Faye. We had said, well, yeah, we heard that they're out at like dusk, so we're going to go at dusk. We went at dusk, and it was very spontaneous. When we went, I could see them. I'm very clairvoyant, when it comes to certain beings. I could see them everywhere. And they were all over me, and they were all over my mom, and all over the dog, and their grids were just like sort of enveloping us in this warm embrace. And as we approached them in the clearing where the magic tree is, well, they're all magic. All the trees are magic, but our special tree that we connected with for these big openings was surrounded by Fae, and they were all sort of like in this big dome shape, right? And they were singing this song that sounded like Atumatu Iwatsuru, Atumatu Iwatsuru, Amayawana, Amayawana. And that song still makes me feel deeply like, oh, thank you so much. That's how I feel when they're singing it, because they told me that it means you are one of us, I am you, and you are me. So, that was like really emotional for me. That feeling of acceptance and love that they gave to me. And so when we approached the big tree, there were other spirits who came to help me to be initiated, and they put a blessing on my wand. And also, my mom was like physically with the tree and was channeling her own guides. She channeled the angelics, I channeled the fae. But we both had the experience of having our inner child essence raised up above the trees to receive a blessing. So we would come back and talk about this afterwards, obviously. But after that night, it was like I was awake a lot, like late into the night, I would be feeling stirrings in me energetically. And I started to hear their songs all the time, and it would come to me mostly at night, and in the morning I'd wake up and I'd hear it, and they were like, we want you to channel this before you go to bed. And I really should do it every single night, but I started doing recordings on my phone. I said, I gotta get some of these on recording, and they were kind of like, yes you do. So I'm going to share one short recording with you. That was the very first one that came through, I think, because I labeled it Faye Song 1, so it's probably the first one, but it's only like 20 seconds, but I'm going to put it right in here.
Om Tamane, Om Tama Aristakawa, Om Tamane, Om Tama Aristakawa, Om Tamane. Om Tama Aristakawa, Om Tamane Noa.
So that was the first one, and I just love all of their songs so much, and basically these songs heal me. There's different chants, there's different songs, and different fae in the collective have different functions, and basically, what they do is unique to their own personality. The reason why they're a collective is because they can sort of like blend together with their energies and still be distinctive and whole within themselves, and they have this sovereignty in that way, even though they still have a connectiveness. So I think that we have a lot that we can learn from the Fae in this sense. Being that they are like the angels of the earth. And like with all of the light language coming through me and how it was moving the energy in my body and everything that I was learning and everything that I was being guided to through those times, it just felt natural to start doing it on YouTube and doing it in readings. And because they really love to speak and be heard, they have a beautiful energy. They're just so much all about fun. Where the angelics are a bit more serious, it truly is like the Divine Mother, the Divine Father, the Divine Child type energies. So that's like really great for, to experience all these things. Of course, the angels are connected to, who the deity who we know, or the Ascended Master, Jesus Christ. Right? So I'm not a Christian, but I have this connection with the Ascended Masters of this Christian, I'm just going to say Christian pantheon. And I had a specific engagement with this wand and the breaking of this wand and Jesus Christ. So what happened was I was going to go to the store, and it was on Easter, right? The day of the resurrection. And I heard the snap, right? Sorry for that. But it was in my bed. My wand was under my covers, and I just bent down, and my knee just snapped it. And I was so sad, but it stopped me from going to the store. It got me sitting on the ground. Why did my special wand break? What the fuck is going on? Pulled some cards, and of course, again, my mom ends up in the room. What's going on? Are we going to go to the store? And I was like, no, we're not going to go to the store, because this just happened. And in pulling cards, I got this message, Christ is here. And I was just like, holy shit. So that's a whole nother video, which I will also post in the description, where I talk about that experience. But as I see it, if this special wand had not broken, I may not have been in that right place at that right time to receive this very special regenerative healing from the Ascended Masters. So it's all connected, obviously, and with the Dragon Clan as well. And obviously, we're having like all of these different other extra dimensional connections from all over the place, right? So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. That, obviously there's very special etheric beings that are here on Earth that are here to love us, just as many other collectives of etheric beings are here to love us from, anywhere beyond the stars. So I hope that you liked this video. I hope that, you got something out of it to understand maybe part of your journey and what you're going through. Type a comment down below if you felt like any specific stirrings around what I've been talking about with the Fae and the angels, and let me know about your experience. Also, yeah, like I said, like the video, do me one of those, and do me another one on the subscribe button, and you'll be notified if you click the bell, obviously, about other videos that I'm going to be making around similar topics as well as readings. My website is in the description as well. Thank you so much, and take care of all levels of your being, and I wish you many good, beautiful stirrings of love energy on this path in life.